everyone. Welcome to this new episode. I'm really glad you're here. Before starting the episode, I wanted to let you know that you can now find me on YouTube. So if you watch this video on YouTube, you already know, and you can just subscribe to my new channel. So I will continue to share over there my practical skills that I have for you, of course, to discover your true nature and embrace your family dynamic and everything in between through the lens of human design, of course. But it's basically a new way to connect with me and maybe just to see my face. And see all the gesture and facial expressions that I have, because it seems that I have a lot. Anyway, to celebrate this launch, I am sharing on the page the replay of the introduction of human design that I gave a few weeks ago. It's basically for you about learning all about the foundation of human design and how your energy works to navigate successfully in your life. So it's full of practical knowledge and tips and examples for you to support your parenting journey or personal growth, basically. So yeah, share it, spread the word with friends, family, or whoever needs it. It will be really appreciated. Thank you so much. So let's dive into today's episode, which is all about embracing your unique path to wellness and see the transformation that unfold from there. And it's basically about nourishing your transformation. It's really how to feed yourself, your system, your body correctly to support your wellness and your true self and avoid all the conditioning. So that's a big deal. And in human design, you can do that with the support of the determination. I'm going to say digestion to make it easier. And the digestion is part of the 4 variables arrow. And it's symbolized by the design side of your chart, sun and earth. So basically, it's the top left arrow at the top of your chart. If you don't have your chart yet, feel free to just DM me and I will send it to you for free. And what your determination / digestion represent is basically our body, but also our brain. I will come back to that a bit later. And we are really talking about how the body or system operates, and how you have the potential to differentiate yourself / not condition yourself by having a specific diet, which actually doesn't really have to do with food by itself, funnily enough, but we are not talking about the food by itself that you take in mostly, but it's more how you feed your body and how you avoid to be conditioned by your society. So we are going to see how you can provide your body the best way for you to digest successfully. And the result of that, of course, is that you're going to be physically healthier potentially. And because if you take the right nutrition, right way to take nutrition in, it's going to make an enormous difference on your vitality and your energy. Because when you feed yourself, you feed your brain correctly. So it's really, really important for that. You're gonna have enormous advantage in terms of energy. So we can say that non-sacral being like the projector, the manifestor, the reflectors can be exhausted more easily because they don't have this sacral center in defining their chart. And it's true, but then not following their determination can be basically worse for them. So that's really important. It's of course always going to start with your strategy and authority. And if you don't have any idea of what I'm talking about, I suggest you go back to the previous episode. But beginning to treat your body correctly, honoring your body intelligence because it's linked to the brain, is going to be able to guide you on more success in your life and the wellness, let's say. It's like, you don't put diesel in a gasoline engine, except if you're really tired or drunk. Actually, my partner did it already 2 or 3 times since we know each other. Not because he was drunk, but because he was tired. I hope. Anyway, this is your opportunity, basically, through the practical knowledge that I'm sharing with you, to feed yourself correctly. And feeding yourself correctly, it's gonna help you to start cleaning all what is basically in your conditioning that you carry or that you are stuck into. So yeah, it's a great adventure. So if you want to join me, it really can be really transforming for yourself. What else I wanted to say to start with? Yeah, as I was saying, not really what you take has substance into your body, but it's more the way you are gonna take it. So there is 6 color for determination with 2 variants each time. And what we need to understand here is that we are evolved as a species, as our digestive system evolved with us. So from the first color to the 6th color, we are really looking at an evolutionary process, which is the first one more like the cave person. When we end up with a 6th color who has more like a very deeply sensitive digestive system. So we go to a primitive digestive system to a very sensitive one. So the first 2 are more rigid. We have appetite and taste. After we have the 3 and the 4, who are more energetic. We have thirst and touch. And the 2 last one are more sensitive. It's sound and light. With 2 variants each time, I will go back to it. So this is an experience. It's what human design is about anyway. It's always your experimentation. Try it. Don't believe me, just try it. And really respect your strategy and authority to start this process. So between we have the lower color 1, 2, 3 and the upper color 4, 5, 6, and there is basically a line between the both, and the lower colors are more about conditions. So if you have 1, 2, or 3 color, you are really have a more primitive basic digestive system who is quite demanding. When the upper colors 4, 5, 6 are more about circumstances. But let's start with the first color. So with the first color, it's called appetite, and this is the cave person, the hunter. So in most places of the world, you're probably not going to be able to do that, because it's about having a diet who only eat one thing at a time. So it's very primitive, you know, it's a hunter who go hunt step by step to have fresh food. So it can be quite an extreme diet. But you are not meant to eat a lot of things all together, basically. And food should be taken separately as much as you can, of course. And the more natural and primitive that it's going to be, the better it's going to be for you. So it's really about simple, natural, pure food, pure meats, nuts, fruits as a snack. And you can be consecutive of alternatives depending of you if you have a right side right or left arrow, which is also determine how much food you need and how regularly you need to be fed, but I will go back to that later. So when you are alternative, it's more going to be that you really prepare very simple way, simple food, and consume one thing at a time, you know, and avoiding too many spices and or cooking dishes that involve too many products at once, and really try to avoid industrial processed food. It's not going to help you. When you are consecutive, you are going to be more able to have a smaller amount of food through the day, when the alternative can have, you know, when they are hungry, they eat a lot, and then they can go without food for longer of time. So yeah, that is very important for the first quarter, and it's quite demanding, I understand, but this is what you choose in your design in this life. And then we have the second quarter, which is test. So the second quarter is really about eating the same thing day after day, basically, and really eating local. So, you know, it's the evolution of it. And now we have, we come back, we are out of the cave, and we are at the market, the local farmers market, when you have very fresh food around. So if you have a test color, really try to eat local produce that you are living around, and all the imported food for you, and are not gonna very healthy. I have a client who has this determination, digestion, and she basically go to pick up of food to a local communal garden. So she basically take her knife and go pick up the food she needs directly over there, and she even volunteer over there, and that is really help her to be healthier in her life. And then you have, so when you are test, you can be open or closed test, depending if it's active or passive. And basically, when it's open, you know, it's easy. You open to a lot of different thing. You know, we take the example with the baby that are just opening the mouth and are, you know, not concerned about, you know, spitting out their food. But if you are close, maybe you are someone who buy like the same thing again and again, you know, always the same thing. And yeah, if you have a child who has a closed test, basically trying new things is going to be a bit more difficult. And it's where the conditioning can happen, because when we feed our kids, when they start to be able to eat solids, we make the change after a few weeks, months, but if they have close ties, they are not gonna like it at all. So let them choose if they don't want to try something. That's really fine, because if not, you're going to condition them very much. So if any time you ask yourself, what do we eat today? Always the seasonal food for someone who has a second color. Because the only change that a test color can do is really from the season, because it's going to be even more fresh. So it can be a bit difficult, I admit, in a family, like you can seems a bit like fussy, but it's just conditioning. Let it go, you don't need to force yourself to eat like other people. So that are the first two colors, and you can see it's quite rigid, primitive. And then we go to the third color, and we pass in a more energetic digestive system. So the third color is thirst. The third color is thirst, thirsty. And we are then dealing with force who are really more energetic. And what we are dealing with, basically, is hot and cold. So there is already a transformation, you see. It's not, can be natural product, of course, but there is an action on it. And so if it's cold, it's that your body is overheated. You have an overheated system, basically. So you really need to cool down that system by eating only food who are cold, because if you eat hot on hot, you all waste your system, basically, and it's not going to be helpful at all for you and your brain. My dad has the cold thing, actually, and he's never ever going in holidays on the beach, or I think his last trip was in Laponia, the kind of thing. And he always in t-shirt and short, always sleeping with the windows open, like it's what suits him best. And he will actually, his brain will overeat too if he was having hot all the time. And then the hot one is more weak digestive system, because they have a system that runs cold. And they really need to eat and have a heat reaction, so everything has to be above temperature, and that's me. And I'm always cold. I lived with a hot bottled water at night, even if it's summer. I used to call it my boyfriend when I was living alone. I'm drinking hot tea all day long. I have a hot bottle water, how do you call that? Jar who keep the heat all day long, and I drink that all day long. And I cannot eat cold. I make sure that my food is really, really hot, because if it's not, even if it's just warm, or at room temperature, I'm going to overeat. I'm not going to feel full. I'm going to feel like I'm not enjoying my food. And I'm always make sure to put food in my family plates before, and I let my meal cooking, keeping warm while I serve them, and then I can serve myself, because I really need to eat very, very hot. And it's things that you probably know intuitively, but then you're like, oh, that's fine. I used to make ice cream because I loved ice cream, but it's very, very bad for my digestive system. And since I follow my design, I've never been healthier in my life. I will never do a diet in my life ever again. And yeah, I feel healthier, and my brain is more responsive and more active, and that's fine. So that's really make a huge difference on your health and your wellness. Um, so yeah, that is for the third color, thirst. And then we pass to the upper color, which are not about condition anymore, but they are about circumstances. So it's not about controlling the how do you say that? It's like it's not about one thing at a time, or those very limited condition. It's more about considering the environment around you. So the first color, it's touch. And when you are dealing with the fourth color, it's all about calm and nervous. So on the left side, it's going to be more calm, being in a calm environment to eat. And if someone like disturb you, like a frustrated generator, or angry manifestor, or bitter projector, or disappointed reflector, which are the non-self team for all the energetic type in human design, if you don't know. So you really need to eat. It's not about being you who is calm. It's about you being in a calm environment. And when it's nervous, on the opposite side, it's like you don't sit, basically, and you move all the time. And because sitting through the meal for you is really, being like in a prison. And there is a need to move, to do something. You can totally walk while you eat. And I had a client, and her son has that, and she then accepted that, when they are outside of the restaurant or at the table with family, it can be really not well seen, that you move all the time, you get out of the table. But actually, for those kids or adults, it is they need the energy. So those people just get up, go on the phone, all this kind of stuff. So yeah, just try to go above the society. And I have another client who one was needed calm, and the other one need the nervous system. So basically, they couldn't eat together if they wanted to digest well and be healthy and ready for success, of course. So they learn to have their dinner, lunch at different time, and that's okay, it just like that in every family, because you really have to take in consideration everyone needs, and some are not fitting very well together. So sometimes you're not going to be able to do otherwise, and that's okay. Don't be too hard on you either, and just try it. You will see a result. And then we pass to the fifth color, sound. This is the when we go on this upper part, we are getting into the sensitive digestive system, which is more modern system actually, because so we have sound, so it's about the environment once again, and it's not about, once again, the sound inside your body. It's about the sound, the acoustic in your environment surrounding you. So if you are a high sound person, left side of the chart, you need really having sound around you when you eat. So it's those people who put iPods in their ears, or listen to podcasts, turn the volume up, watch TV, whatever he wants. The more the noise is, the better it is. And where it's when it's low sound, you are on the other side. So you need to have a headphone to reduce the sound, basically. And you need silence to it. So yeah, the noise is going to be very disturbing for your digestive system and the way you process food and digest correctly, and then make your brain function correctly. I had a client who has a lot of stomachache because she was eating alone without anything, and she started to she's sound high, and she started to watch TV and put music on her ears while she was eating, and she felt so much better. So highly recommended that if you are a fifth color. Then we go to the sixth color, which is light. So this is the final color. We see the light. It's beyond people, basically. We are quite in another dimension here. It's the end of the process. So it's more sophisticated, but then it's more sensitive too. So you have direct or indirect. It's not about natural or artificial. It's light. So direct people, they are the people who are only eat when the sun is up. So the best for them is to really eat after the sunset and before the sunrise. So the highest frequency for them to take information in, because it's a brain, it's really about with the light frequency. It can also be artificial light, yes. I haven't really tried it yet because my daughter is light, and I make sure she always eat after the sunset and before the sunrise. But with winter, sometimes it's a bit difficult. But we didn't have the issue yet, so I didn't test it on her yet. But with her age growing up, she will, and when we'll be in winter, she will need necessarily to eat when it's dark. So I will do the experimentation over there, and I will share with you. And what I know is the important thing, if it's light, artificial light, it's really that you are able to see your shadow. It means there is enough light. And it was such a big part of the conditioning that the society is trying to teach us, because she is light. So naturally, she is not eating when it's dark. So when she's born, she all the doctors and nurse, everyone wanted me to wake her up every 2 hours to breastfeed her. And I said no. She was sleeping through the night, and she was not eating at night, which could have concerned me if I didn't know her design. But of course, I knew her design. And it was also something that I pay attention to accept to put her at daycare. It's another story, but I visited few daycare where it was, very industrial, no sunlight at all. So I try to avoid that. But if the artificial light is okay, it's strong enough, it's okay. But we know that it has other impact for health. Anyway, let's change the subject. If you have indirect light color, you are a nocturnal. So, for example, working at night shift would be really healthy for you. Listening this podcast would be really better after the sunset. Yeah, it can be quite difficult in the society we are living into because all the social events are taking place during the day, at least in my world. There is probably other world to the world where you can live at night, and you will be way more better into that. So I know that it seems quite demanding, but just try it. I will be really interesting to have your feedback. And actually, you know what? Let me know if you are interested. We can do an experimentation all together, create a little group, to do few weeks of experimentation all together with different determination digestion, and share the result in between us. Yeah, just DM me if you would like to do that. That's it for the colors. And so all about experimenting once again. But I saw the change in my allergy level, clearly, my wellness in general. And I'm not going to go into this right now. I will do a special episode about it, but it's had a very big impact on your senses. They are really, really having a impact on your vision, your feelings, the fact you touch. It depends of your tones. It's called the tones, and then you need to take in consideration your digestion, colors and tone, and it's going to really highlight your sensory system, and it's going to change basically the way that you take life into your environment, and operating correctly, providing your system the way which is can digest successfully, and then really be healthy. Your chart is telling you, as I was saying a bit earlier, if you have a left brain, it's really important for you to eat regularly. So it's not good for you to be hungry. You don't miss a meal. When you have a right brain, you are it's very different because you don't need as much food. It's really unhealthy to overheat for you. So yeah, that is really important because digestion represents your brain, as I said earlier. Depending if it's left or right brain, you don't need the same amount of food, and you don't need to be fed by information from the outside in the same way. Very important for kids, for example, or even in a couple. If you are active brain, you need to have a lot of information and to eat regularly, while your partner needs maybe one information at a time and taking the time to digest it before having another information, and eat maybe through the day, and that healthy. And you don't want to force your partner, your child, whatever it is, to eat the same than you, because you are unique, you digest differently, and that it's really important. And the human design chart can even tell you if it's good or not for you to fast. I've done fasting for a long time ago, and it was really not helping me. And once again, since I'm following my digestion, it's make a huge difference in my health, and so I really recommend. What else before ending this episode? Yeah, that's it. So, what color do you have? And what color your children have? And do you honor naturally, intuitively your body? And how does it feel for you when you do or when you don't? Um, and this is basically what we explore in a human design reading with me, because, you know, I talked in the previous episode about your unique environment. You have a unique digestion, unique motivation, and perspective, which are the fourth arrow, the fourth transformation arrow. So it's what we explore in all together, because taking separately, it's something else. And it's how you can, we really look into how you can get healthier and bring the success in your life. It's your path to wellness. So as I was saying, you're unique, your children are, your partner is, so knowing your family needs is really essential. So feel free to contact me if you want to explore that. And if you enjoy this episode, thank you for sharing it with people who can need it, that really support my work, and continue to spread the love all around. I hope you enjoy it. And Christmas is coming very soon. So feel free to really follow your digestion to make it pass easily. And also feel free to contact me if you want a gift card for your family. I have been asked several times recently, so I need to publish that quickly. But yeah, you can gift a meaningful present for your friends or family, and you know, it's a lifetime gift, because human design continue. It's an ongoing process, so it's provide all the time. So if you want to gift someone special in your life, a gift card, contact me, and it's very easy. I send you a nice gift card, and you can just send it to your loved one, and I will be in touch with them to book an appointment at the time that suits them. That's it for today. Hope you enjoy it. I did it. I did enjoy it. I did it, and I did enjoy it. Have a beautiful day wherever you are, and I will talk to you for another episode. Lot of love. Bye.